Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Christy Waite and we will be talking about death investigation systems. So the history of the coroner system. The system was brought over from England and formalized in the United States in 1194. The coroners were in charge of attending death scenes and investigating suspicious deaths, as well as holding inquests and determining the value of different objects and taxes, of course, to send back to England. They could also obtain arrest warrants and confiscate property, as well as investigating treasure troves because they lived during Pirates of the Caribbean or something, and enforce the law to ensure that homicides were properly investigated. In 1860, Maryland was the first state to require a doctor to be present at the inquest, and an inquest is actually just kind of like a trial with a jury to determine the cause and manner of someone's death. In 1877, Massachusetts actually replaced their coroner system with a medical examiner system, and so medical examiners were actually specialized doctors who could perform the autopsies for the coroners and determine the cause and manner of death. So many states actually have their old coroner system still intact. Others have adopted the newer medical examiner system, and some states actually have a combination of both. So a coroner is actually an elected official. They have to run for office. They have to do the whole raising of money and fundraisers for their campaign and that whole thing. If the coroner system is in place, then the coroner functions as the head of the whole death system. They're going to be the ones to certify the death certificates for whatever jurisdiction they were elected to, but they rely upon pathologists to actually perform the autopsies for them. Usually the coroners are not pathology physicians to perform the autopsies themselves. Only 4 states require the coroner to be a doctor, and those 4 states are Ohio, Kansas, North Dakota, and Louisiana. So on the other side of things, a medical examiner is actually appointed because medical examiners hold government positions, whether or not that position is run by the county, the state, a special jurisdiction, what have you. So when there's a medical examiner system in place, they are actually the head of the death system, and then they will be certifying the death certificates. Medical examiners are doctors. More likely they are pathology physicians, and also hopefully forensic pathologists, so they have specialized in forensics after doing 4 years of pathology residency. So some states have a medical examiner system but don't require them to be a doctor and still need a pathologist to perform an autopsy. So they have the ME system but they run it like a coroner system. It doesn't really make sense. So actually half of the US is served by a medical examiner system. The other half still has a coroner system or a combination of both. So because everybody has to be unique these days, there of course has to be certain states that cannot do things one way or another. California has their county sheriffs as the coroners in running the system. The state of Washington actually uses their district attorneys, and Texas is the justice of the peace. So whomever is appointed or elected to those positions in turn get the responsibilities of the coroner in that area. And actually some areas in Georgia, the medical examiner is known as the coroner's pathologist, and they have to do autopsies for the coroner. And as a medical examiner, I don't really like that. However, that's not me, so whatever works for them. And to wrap up this wonderfully short presentation about the difference between coroners and medical examiners, there's some helpful links if you want to read some more. The YouTube video is actually a snippet from an HBO show that kind of gives the lowdown of death investigation. It's got some humor in there and it's pretty informative, so you can go ahead and watch that if you want to know some more.